Hello, and welcome back to Aubrey Books and Coffee. Grab your beverage of choice and join me to talk book stuff. Now, I'm going to start this video with saying, oh my gosh, I have so much sympathy now for anybody else out there that has made videos and you go through all that time and effort to record it and it's perfect. You go to do the editing process and you realize you don't have sound, like no sound at all. So even though my husband's amazing in the IT field and I begged him to find a way around me having to re-record the last 3 videos, there's no way to fix it. I can't even do subtitles because he said that the subtitles come from the actual audio and there's no audio. And the only thing I can think of is I was trying a new microphone like a newbie. I didn't test it before, like during the videos to make sure that they were recording well. So hours worth of work completely down the tubes. So because of that, I apologize. I'm not going to be holding up all the books like I normally do when I do my review at the end of the month. There's going to mostly be pictures over here. I hope that's good enough and you're not too disappointed in me, but I'm still going to give my review, and I did still accomplish all my reading lists, so I'll still give you my favorite overall for the month and the prize that I rewarded myself with. So here we go. I started with The Cat Who Saved Books by Suzuki Natsukama. And again, I'm terrible with names, I'm sorry. I gave this a 3-star review. It was cute. There is a language translation going on, so I think sometimes we have different nuances and words that we use and slangs and stuff that they don't, and vice versa. So some of it I think was lost in translation and it could be a little difficult to read at times, but overall super cute story and I enjoyed it and I recommend you pick it up and give it a try. It's a real quick short read. Then I read The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer Armentrout. Of course, I loved it. This is the 3rd in that From Blood and Ash series. You guys know by now that I absolutely love her and love this series. I gave that a 5-star, no surprise, and I'm really looking forward to book 4 coming up. I pre-ordered it, but said it wouldn't get here until around May 24th. Then I did Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. And I knew I was probably going to like this because I really like Jay Kristoff, as you can see behind me there with the vampire book. And I did. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4-star. I hope to continue the series and for it to count for some of my roles in the future. Then I read Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I gave this one a 2-star. I am so sorry. It was highly, highly recommended, and I don't know if the hype is what's getting to me, and so I expect more from it, but I found it kind of simple. At times it felt like it was just kind of going on and on and on, and there wasn't really plot movement. I just wasn't as impressed as a lot of other people seem to be. You may love it. I mean, that's the beauty of reading, is the different authors write in different styles and different genres so that everybody out there has a book that they like. This one just wasn't for me. Then I read Pemberley, Mr. Darcy's Dragons by Maria Grace. And remember, this is the one my husband got me and I thought would be perfect because I love Jane Austen and I love dragons. And while it was better than Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, they did have extra storyline that had to do with the dragons, so I applaud the author for doing that. That was the best part, and it wasn't that great, so I gave it a 2-star overall, unfortunately. Then I read A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and I gave that a 5-star. And so all of you that heard me when I was mentioning my rules and that I couldn't wait to read again about the characters that I read about in A Court of Thorns and Roses, you had to have been laughing at me because you knew what was going to happen with those 2 main characters and the new characters they were going to introduce. But it was fun. It was a new world. I'm not going to spoil anything. You guys know I hate spoilers. I really enjoyed getting to know these new group of people, new court, everything. So highly recommend. Then I read Keeper of the Lost City Legacy by Shannon Messenger, and I gave it a 3-star. And I am so sorry. I spoke with my daughter. She gave me a little trivia that apparently Shannon had never planned on this series being as long as it is. and I think it's starting to show. It feels like it really is repetitive and drags on in parts, especially in this book. And for me, this book felt like it was the never seen book, but with some names changed. And I really hate that. I hate carbon copies of any other storyline, especially by the same author. And it just felt like that to me. So I'm done with the series. I'm actually not going to read the 8.5, and I'm not going to read the 9th one when it comes out. So Katie's disappointed, but I told her I was going to have her review what she thinks about it, just so we're completing a series here and you guys aren't left hanging wondering if it's worth the investment. Then I had Bookopoly #1 roll, which was An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I gave this a 4-star. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It takes a lot to give me 5 stars. Basically, if I give a 5-star review, it means I could not put it down. That's what it takes. So this was just shy of that, but I loved it enough that I do want to continue the series, and I highly recommend it. Then I pulled from the apothecary jar, and I pulled This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. Now, this was the first book by her that I'd read, and a lot of people out there absolutely love this author. I wasn't crazy about it. There's obviously, the way it ends, another book out there, if not more than one book. But I gave it a 3-star. It wasn't horrible. I love that it was a new idea, new concept that I hadn't read before. I just felt like there were parts of the story that felt like it was trying to be really descriptive, trying to be real flowery, and that's not my style of book. So it just wasn't for me. Then the book of the month that I chose was Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. This I gave a 4-star. I loved this book. I thought it was so good. It's a romance with a lot of humor based in the Indian culture, and it was just a surprise enjoyment. So I highly recommend it, and I got to even take some of the culture references they made and ask some of my friends about it, and it was just a lot of fun. And some of the food they recommend that is mentioned in this book, and I just think it's a fun read. You ought to check it out. Then I ordered the Once Upon a Book Club's Romantasy box, and I have a whole separate video for that. Definitely go check it out, but beware, there are spoilers in that as I go. And so I ended up getting the book The North Wind. This one I will hold up because I could not find this specific cover online. But it's by Alexandria Warwick. It's the first in a 4-book series that it'll have. And I'm definitely going to get the next book because it was amazing. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. It's kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling with some twists. It's really, really good. Completely worth going out there and checking it out. Then I told you I was going to be doing those owl crates. And so in the first video, I actually held up the card and I went line by line for the item that Owl Crate gave, like their pens, bookmarks, whatever, and what book it referenced. And then I read that book. This time I'm just going to go over the books. I'm sorry. So the first one I read was The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. I gave it a 4-star. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I know there's more in this series. Again, I hope to continue the series and I highly recommend. Then I read Six of Crows by Leah Bardugo. This is the first of Leah's books that I've ever read. Loved it. 5-star. Did not expect that. It felt very Ocean's 11 to me, but also romance, and it just was so well written. So I can't wait to read the rest of the series. They left it in a way that I know there's more in this. Then I read A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Gave it another 3-star. I just don't know this author's going to be for me. There's a lot of dry points. Again, I have a lot of friends who love her, so I want to love her more than I actually do. Then I read We Hunt the Flame by Hafsha Fazal. I gave it a 3-star. Felt a lot like folklore meets The Gilded Wolves. And so I just didn't like it as much. Maybe I would have liked it better if I wasn't doing Gilded Wolves at the same time, but it just didn't happen that way this month. Then I read The Ivory Key by Akshaya Rahman, a 4-star for sure. And I plan on continuing the series. I mean, I think it's going to be a duology, so I definitely plan on getting the second one. Wonderful story. Again, love the culture references, love the mythology that's in it. Highly recommend it. And in fact, that exclusive Owl Crate edition cover, that book is going to be one of the things I give in the giveaway when we hit 25 subscribers. So keep that in mind. Then February Owl Crates box had some books that I also read as part of that challenge. And that was The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I gave it a 2-star. I really wanted to like it, and it started out so good. And again, folklore, very old-timey, maybe Russia kind of thing. And it was so good. And then all of a sudden it started going downhill. It just felt very much like I have this great idea, I'm writing it, now I don't know how to end it, is what it felt like to me. And then I did not like the ending. So for me, not a recommend. Then I read Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone. Again, a 2-star. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this because so many people out there love this book. For me, it felt like Dark Shadows, which was an old TV show back, soap opera back in the day. Totally, dating myself now. But I just couldn't. I wanted so badly to like this, but it felt like it was very repetitive. It felt like it droned on. Can you tell I like my books to kind of be like, give me an idea once and move on. Don't keep talking about it. Dialogue that happens 5 or 6 times, the same dialogue, it bores me. I'm over it. So, and I apologize for my cat that I didn't realize was in the bedroom. She must have been hiding under the bed and is now roaming around. So anyway, I gave it that 2-star. Then I read The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I gave it a 3-star. I did enjoy The Raven Boys. I will probably continue this series. It just didn't super grab me, if that makes any sense. So kind of like the Lunar Chronicles series have all been 3-stars so far. Getting to that. That's the same thing. It's not that I won't continue it or that it wasn't good. It just wasn't super good to get that 4th star. Howl's Moving Castle is next by Deanna W. Jones. This one was referenced in the February Owl Crate, so I did check it out. I did read it. It felt very childlike, which kind of makes sense because when they talk about in the note card, they talk about in their youth, they were inspired by Howl from this. So as long as you are understanding it's going to be for a younger audience, I think you'll like it. It does have a very unique story. Just prepare yourself for that. Then I read Only a Monster, which was the book that came in that box. Again, can't find this cover anywhere online, so I'm holding it up. Absolutely gorgeous. Not the only book in the series. There's going to be more, and I am absolutely going to get them. I loved it. I gave it a 4-star. I was able to put it down, but it was really well written. A new concept I had not heard of before. Really enjoyed it. Then I had a second Bookopoly roll, and it was The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Pinner. I love the cover of this. I love the concept of this. The actual execution kind of left me wanting a little bit, so I gave it a 3-star just because it was an enjoyable read. It just wasn't to my expectations, so maybe I need to lower my expectations. The third Bookopoly roll was Winter, which of course is the 4th book in the Lunar Chronicles, and by Marissa Meyer. And I gave this actually a 4-star. This is the first time in this series that I have loved the book. I thought that this wrap-up was fantastic. I know there's more books out there. I'm not sure if they tie on. I don't know if I even want to read them because I love how this ended. And I just want to kind of stay happy with the whole series. So I did enjoy it and I recommend it. And so overall, the series is totally worth it. I wanted to take time to real quickly show off. I did get my reward for finishing all of my books for March, and I got a book sleeve because I always need these for my hardback books. And I got this from Whimsical Narratives Kim. She has all different kinds of patterns and colors. I highly recommend you go check her out. And again, she has her little logo on here even. And it's wonderful. It's got plenty of space in there. So I'm talking my ACOTAR, my Throne of Glass, even the Empire Vampires, anything will fit in here. And it'll keep it nice and protected as you travel. Last but not least, I am a writer. So I had some writing prompts. I did not successfully complete all the writing prompts. And so unfortunately, my punishment is that I have to erase one of my check marks where I'm trying to earn books. I'm bummed by that, but it's fine. It's doable. So anyway, that's my punishment, and I'm sorry for this being so much quicker than normal and a lot less physical books that I'm holding up. Again, I just didn't have the heart to do it all over again, and I'm checking the audio quality at the end of this. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you next time.